The Travels of Marco Polo, Chapter 43 of the district of Sequoia, where rhubarb is produced. Upon leaving the district mentioned and proceeding for 10 days east-northeast through a country where there are few habitations and little that is worthy of remark, you arrive at a district named Sequoia, Sukchu, in which there are many towns and castles, the principal one being likewise named Sequoia. The inhabitants are in general idolaters, with some Christians. They are subject to the dominion of the Great Khan. The district, together with the two last named, are in the province of Tangut. Throughout all the mountainous parts of it, the most excellent kind of rhubarb is produced in large quantities, and merchants who buy loads of it convey it to all parts of the world. It is a fact that when they take that road, they cannot venture among the mountains with any beasts of burden excepting those accustomed to the country, on account of a poisonous plant growing there. If eaten by them, this causes the hoofs of the animal to drop off. Those of the country, however, being aware of its dangerous quality, take care to avoid it. The people of Sequoia depend for sustenance upon the fruits of the earth and the meat of their cattle, and do not engage in trade. The district is perfectly healthy, and the complexion of the natives is brown. Chapter 44 of Champachu and of its idols and marriage customs. Champachu, Kanchao, the chief city of the province of Tangut, is large and magnificent and has jurisdiction over the province. The bulk of the people worship idols, that is, of Buddha, but there are some who follow the religion of Mahomet and some Christians. The latter have 3 large and handsome churches in the city. The idolaters have many religious houses, or monasteries and abbeys, built like those in our country, and in these there are a multitude of idols, some of wood, some of stone, and some of clay. They are all highly polished, gilded, and carved in a mastery style. Among these are some of very large size, some small. The former are fully 10 paces in length and are lying down. The small figures stand behind them and look like disciples in the act of reverent salutation. Both great and small are held in extreme veneration. These persons amongst the idolaters, who are devoted to the services of religion, the lamas of Tibetan Buddhism, lead more virtuous lives according to their ideals of morality than the other classes. They abstain from the indulgence of carnal and sensual desires. The unrestricted intercourse of the sexes is not in general considered by these people a serious offense. Their maxim is that if the advances are made by the female, the connection does not constitute an offense, but it is held such that when the proposal comes from the man. They employ an almanac in many respects like our own, according to the rules of which, during 5, 4, or 3 days in the month, Buddhist Sabbaths or fast days, they do not shed blood nor eat flesh or fowl, just as we do in regard to Friday the Sabbath and the vigils of the saints. The laity take as many as 30 wives, some more, some fewer, according to their ability to maintain them, for they do not receive any dowry with them, but on the contrary, settle upon their wives dowers of cattle, slaves, and money. The first wife always retains the highest rank in the family, and if the husband sees that anyone among them does not behave well to the rest, or if she becomes otherwise disagreeable to him, he can send her away. They take to their beds cousins by blood, and even espouse their mothers-in-law. Many other mortal sins are regarded by them with indifference, and they live in the respect like the beasts of the field. In this city Marco Polo remained, along with his father and uncle, about the space of 1 year, which their business required. Chapter 45 of the city of Azina, and a desert extending 40 days' journey toward the north. Leaving the city of Kampachu and traveling for 12 days in a northerly direction, you come to a city named Azina, at the commencement of the sandy desert and within the province of Tangut. The inhabitants are idolaters. They have camels and much cattle of various sorts. Here you find lanner falcons and many excellent sakers. The fruits of the soil and the meat of the cattle supply the wants of the people, and they do not concern themselves with trade. Travelers passing through the city lay in a store of provisions for 40 days, because upon their leaving it to go northwards, they take that long to cross a desert, in which there are no dwellings or any inhabitants, except a few among the mountains and in some valleys during the summer. In these areas, frequented by wild asses and other wild animals, they find water and pine woods. Having passed this desert, the traveler arrives at a city on the northern side of it, named Karakoram. Chapter 46 of the city of Karakoram, the first in which the Tartars had a settled residence. The city of Karakoram is about 3 miles in circumference, and is the first place in which the Tartars established their residence in remote time. It is surrounded with a strong rampart of earth, since there is not a good supply of stone in that part of the country. On the outside of the rampart stands a huge castle, in which is located the handsome palace of the governor of the place. The circumstances under which these Tartars first began to exercise dominion shall now be related. They dwelt in the northern regions of Chorka and Bargu, south and east of Lake Baikal, but without settled habitations, that is, without towns or fortified places, but where there were extensive plains, good pasture, large rivers, and plenty of water. They had no sovereign of their own, and were tributary to a powerful prince who, as I've been informed, was called Khan, which is thought by some to be the same as Prester John in ours. To him the Tartars paid the 10th part of their cattle in tribute. In time the tribe multiplied so exceedingly that Ung Khan, that is, Prester John, becoming fearful, conceived the plan of dividing them up into groups and having each group live in a different area. With this in view, whenever a pretext was available, such as a rebellion in one of his provinces, he would draft 3 or 4 out of every 100 of these people and use them in quelling it, and thus their power was gradually decreased. He also dispatched them on other expeditions and sent some of his principal officers to see that his orders were carried out. At length the Tartars, becoming aware that he was trying to reduce them to slavery, resolved to band together, and seeing that their complete ruin was being planned, decided to move from the areas they had inhabited. They proceeded in a northerly direction across the vast desert, until they felt they were at a safe distance, and then they refused to pay Ung Khan the customary tribute.